Genesis chapter 35. Then God said to Jacob, "Get up, go up to Bethel and stay there. Make an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his household and to everyone who was with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods that are among you. Cleanse yourselves and change your clothes. Now let's get up and go up to Bethel, so that I can make an altar there to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me in the way that I have gone." So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods in their hand and the rings in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak tree near Shechem. They journeyed, and the terror of God was on the cities that were around them. So they did not pursue Jacob's sons. Then Jacob arrived at Luz in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people who were with him. He built an altar there and called the place El Bethel, because God had revealed himself to him there when he fled from the presence of his brother. Then Rebekah's nurse Deborah died and was buried below Bethel under the oak. So it was named Oak of Weeping. God appeared to Jacob again after he returned from Paddan Aram, and he blessed him. God said to him, "Your name was Jacob. No longer will your name be Jacob, for your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. God also said to him, "I am El Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and an assembly of nations will come from you. From your loins will come forth kings. The land that I gave to Abraham and to Isaac, I give to you, and to your seed after you, I will give the land." Then God went up from him at the place where he had spoken with him. Jacob set up a memorial stone in the place where he had spoken with him, a stone pillar, and he poured a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. Jacob named the place where God spoke with him Bethel. Then they traveled from Bethel, and while they were still a distance from entering Ephrath, Rahel began to give birth, but her labor was difficult. While she was struggling to give birth, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for this is also a son for you." Now, as her soul was departing, for she died, she named him Ben-Oni, but his father named him Benjamin. Then Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Jacob set up a memorial stone over her grave. It is the memorial stone over Rachel's grave to this day. Then Israel journeyed on and set up his tent beyond the tower of Eder. While Israel was living in the land, Reuben went and slept with his father's concubine Bilhah, and Israel heard about it. Now Jacob had 12 sons. Leah's sons were Jacob's firstborn, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. Rachel's sons were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's female servant, were Dan and Naphtali. And the son of Zilpah, Leah's female servant, were Gad and Asher. These are Jacob's sons who were born to him in Paddan Aram. Then Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre of Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Now Isaac's days were 180 years. Then Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people, old and full of days. So his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Chapter 36. Now these are the genealogies of Esau, that is Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan: Adah, daughter of Elon and Hittite; Oholibamah, daughter of Anna, daughter of Sibeon the Hivite; the Basemath, daughter of Ishmael, sister of Neboloth. Adah bore Eliphaz to Esau. Basemath bore Ruel, and Oholibamah bore Yeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are Esau's sons, who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Now Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the people of his household, as well as his livestock and all his cattle and all his possessions that he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to a land away from his brother Jacob. For their possessions were too numerous for them to dwell together. The land where they were residing was unable to support them because of their livestock. So Esau lived in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So these are the genealogies of Esau, the father of Edom in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, son of Esau's wife Ada, and Reuel, son of Esau's wife Basemath. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Katam, and Kenaz. Now Timnah was a concubine to Esau's son Eliphaz, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These are the sons of Esau's wife Ada. These are Reuel's sons Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Misa. These were the sons of Esau's wife Basemath. These were the sons of Oholibamah, daughter of Anna, daughter of Esau's wife Zibeon. She bore to Esau's Yeush, Yalam, and Korah. These are the chiefs from Esau's sons, the sons of Eliphaz. Esau's firstborn were Chief Teman, Chief Omar, Chief Zepho, Chief Kenaz, Chief Korah, Chief Katam, Chief Amalek. These are the chiefs from Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Ada. These are the sons of Esau's Reuel, Chief Nahath, Chief Zerah, Chief Shammah, Chief Misa. These are the chief from the Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Esau's wife Basemath. These are the sons of Esau's wife Oholibamah, Chief Yeush, Chief Yalam, Chief Korah. These are the chief from Oholibamah, daughters of Esau's wife Anna. These are Esau's sons, and these are their chiefs, that is Edom. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, the inhabitants of the land: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Hori and Hema. Lotan's sister is Timnah. These are Shobal's sons: Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepo, and Onam. These are Zibeon's sons: Aiah and Anna, that is the Anna who found the hot springs in the desert while he was pasturing the donkeys of his father Zibeon. These are the children of Anna: Dishon and Oholibamah, Anna's daughter. These are Dishon's sons: Hemdan, Eshban, Itran, and Cheran. These are Ezer's sons: Bilhan, Zavan, and Akan. These are Dishon's sons: Uz and Aran. These are the chiefs of the Horites: Chief Lotan, Chief Shobal, Chief Zibeon, Chief Anna, Chief Dishon, Chief Ezer, Chief Dishan. These are the chiefs of the Horites according to their chiefly divisions in the land of Seir. Now these are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the sons of Israel. Bela, son of Beor, reigned in Edom. The name of his city was Dinhabah. When Bela died, Yobab, son of Zerah from Bozrah, reigned in his place. When Yobab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites reigned in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bela, who struck down the Midianites in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. The name of his city was Avit. Then, when Hadad died, Samlah from Masrekah reigned in his place. When Samlah died, Shaul from Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. When Shaul died, Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, reigned in his place. When Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, died, Hadad reigned in his place. The name of his city is Pau, and his wife's name is Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, daughter of Mezahab. Now these are the names of the chief from Esau according to their family divisions, according to their places by their names: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jetheth, Chief Oholibamah, Chief Elah, Chief Pinon, Chief Kenaz, chief Teman, and chief Mibzar, chief Magdiel, chief Iram. These are the chiefs of Edom according to their places of residence in the land of their possession. This is Esau, the father of Edom. Chapter 37. Now Jacob dwelled in the land where his father had sojourned, in the land of Canaan. These are the genealogies of Jacob. When Joseph was 17 years old, he was a youth. He was shepherding the flocks with his brothers, with the sons of his father's wives, Bilhah and Zilpah. Joseph brought back a bad report about them to their father. Now Israel loved Jacob more than all his other sons, because he was the son of his old age. So he had made him a long-sleeved tunic. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak to him in shalom. Then Joseph dreamed a dream and told his brothers, and they hated him even more. He said to them, "Please listen to this dream I dreamed. There we were binding sheaves in the middle of the field. All of a sudden my sheep arose and stood upright, and behold, your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to my sheaf. Will you truly be king over us?" His brothers said to him, "Will you really rule over us?" So they hated him even more because of his dreams and because of his words. But then he dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers, saying, "I have just dreamed another dream. Suddenly there was the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowing down to me." He told it to his father as well as his brothers. Then his father rebuked him and said to him, "What's this dream you dreamed? Will you really come, your mother and I, with your brothers, to bow down to the ground to you?" So his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the speech in mind. Then his brothers went to graze their father's flock at Shechem. Israel said to Joseph, "Aren't your brothers grazing the flocks in Shechem? Come, let me send you to them." "Here I am," he said to him. Then he said to him, "Go now and check on the welfare of your brothers and the welfare of the flocks, and bring word back to me." So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. A man found him there, wandering in the field, and the man asked him, "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my brothers," he said. "Please tell me where they're grazing." The man said, "They moved on from here, for I heard them saying, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now they saw him from a distance. Before he was close to them, they plotted together against him in order to kill him. They said to one another, "Here comes the master of dreams. Come on now, let's kill him and throw him into one of those pits, so we can say that an evil animal devoured him. Then let's see what becomes of his dreams." But Reuben heard and rescued them out of their hand, saying, "We must not beat him to death, in order to rescue him from their hand and return to him to his father." Reuben said to them, "Don't shed blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him." So as soon as Joseph came up to his brothers, they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the long-sleeved tunic that he had on. Then they took him and threw him in the pit. Now the pit was empty, with no water in it. Then they sat down to eat bread. When they looked up, behold, there was a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead, with their camels carrying gum, balsam, and myrrh, going to bring them down to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is there if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come on, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites. Let's not lay our hand on him, since he's our brother, our own flesh." His brothers listened to him. Then some Midianite merchants passed by. They dragged Joseph up, and out of the pit they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore his clothes. Then he returned to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone, and where should I go?" So they took Joseph's tunic, slaughtered a billy goat, and they dipped the tunic into the blood. Then they sent the long-sleeved tunic, and it was brought to their father, and they said, "We found this. Do you recognize whether or not it is your son's tunic?" Did he recognize it and said, "My son's tunic"? He did recognize it and said, "My son's tunic. An evil animal has devoured him. Joseph must be torn to pieces." Jacob tore his clothing and put a sackcloth and mourned for his son many days. All his sons got up along with all his daughters to console him, but he refused to be comforted. He said, "For I will go down to Sheol to my son, mourning." So his father kept weeping for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold him into Egypt to Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh, the commander of the bodyguards. Chapter 38. About that time, Judah went down from his brothers, and he camped near an Adullamite man whose name was Hira. There Judah saw the daughter of a Canaanite man whose name was Shua, and he took her as wife and slept with her. Then she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. He named him Er. She became pregnant again and gave birth to a son, and she named him Onan. She gave birth to yet another son, and she called him Meshelah. He was in Chezib when she gave birth to him. Then Judah got a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was evil in Adonai's eyes, so Adonai put him to death. Then Judah said to Onan, "Go to your brother's wife to perform the duty of a brother-in-law to her, and raise up a seed for your brother." But Onan knew that the seed would not be his. So every time he went to his brother's wife, he would destroy it on the ground so as not to provide a seed for his brother. But what he did was evil in Adonai's eyes. So he put him to death also. Then Judah said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, "Stay as a widow in your father's house until my son Shelah grows up," because he thought otherwise he too might die, like his brothers. So Tamar went and stayed in her father's house. Now the days became many, and Shua's daughter, Judah's wife, died. After Judah consoled himself, he went up to Timnah to his sheep shears, he and his friend Hira the Adullamite. Then Tamar was told, "Look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his flocks." And she removed her widow's clothes from herself, covered herself with a veil, wrapped herself, and sat by the entrance to the springs on the way to Timnah, where she saw that Shelah had grown up, and she had not been given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute because she had covered her face. So he turned aside to her along the way and said, "Please let me sleep with you," for he did not know that she was his brother-in-law. "What," she asked, "will you give me to sleep with me?" "I will send you a young goat from the flock," he said. "Provided you give a pledge until you send it," she said. "What kind of pledge shall I give you?" he asked. "Your seal and your cord and your staff in your hand," she said. So he gave them to her, and he slept with her, and she got pregnant by him. After he got up and left, she removed her veil from herself and put on her widow's clothes. When Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite took back When Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to take back the pledge from the woman's hand, he could not find her. He asked the men of her area, saying, "Where's the cult prostitute? She was at the springs along the way." But they said, "There hasn't been a cult prostitute here." So he returned to Judah and said, "I couldn't find her." And the people of that place also said, "There hasn't been a cult prostitute here." Then Judah said, "Let her take them for herself, and will be held in contempt. Behold, I did send this young goat, but you couldn't find her." About 3 months later, Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar has been a prostitute. Look, she's even pregnant by prostitution." "Bring her out," Judah said, "and let her be burned." As she was being brought out, she sent word to her father-in-law, saying, "I'm pregnant by the man to whom these belong." Then she said, "Do you recognize those whose these are? The seal, the cords, and the staff?" Then Judah recognized them and said, "She is more righteous than I, since I didn't give her to my son Shelah. He was not intimate with her again. Now when it was time for her to give birth, behold, there were twins in her womb. While she was giving birth, one stuck out his hand, and the midwife took a scarlet thread and tied it to his hand, saying, 'This one came out first.' But he was pulling his hand back in. Behold, his brother came out. So she said, 'How you have broken through! The breach is because of you.' And he named him Perez. Afterward, his brother, on whose hand was the scarlet thread, came out, and he named him Zerah.